Good morning and welcome to Coffee with a Coach. Good morning, Dr. Milu.
Good morning, Tony. How are you this morning?
I am well, and yourself?
I'm fabulous. We have made to 2022, and I have to get used to saying 2022 because I'm so used to 2020 and 2021.
Aren't we all? Many of us are living in the past.
Yes, and we are now in future, which we talked about before.
Well, I don't know that we should worry about the future or the past. We need to live in the present. And the
Exactly.
present in is Happy New Year, January 4th, 2022.
Happy New Year to you. This is January 4th, 2022, and we are celebrating a new year. And the other thing is, last December, we talked about next year, right? We talked about future, and the future is present now. So here we are. Back to
We're
the
already 4 days in. I can't believe 4 days have already passed.
Yes. Yeah, back to the future. So we are now.
So this is that time of the year where people tend to make promises to themselves in the way of resolutions and trying to start out a new year on the right foot. And that lasts for about a minute. And before you know it, they're back to their old ways. So I guess the question is, the subject today is renewal, because we're in a new year and those resolutions tend to be an effort to make a renewal promise to yourself. But what do you do to renew yourself? I know each day I start out my day renewing myself. I wake up out of bed, I go downstairs into my little yoga studio, and I lay down for a moment and meditate and do some yoga, and I try to renew myself each morning. How do you renew yourself?
That's a good question, right? So renew is a new mindset of changing from the old mindset. And you mentioned just now that every day you renew yourself. Renew is something beginning, starting. It almost sounds like restarting.
So restarting.
Yes, renew is restarting. So
restarting your day.
Restarting your day, restarting your year, restarting the new journey for yourself. We are in a circle of life. As you know, from the beginning of life, we continue to go and towards the end of life. So we are in a circle of life. And as we go journey through the circle of life, we look at our destination and we focus on our destination and keep our mind forward going. And to do that, we have to renew. If we don't renew, what happens to us? Just think about that, Tony. What happens to us if we continue our journey without renewal?
We stay in the same old path that we have continued on, which many of us do, to be honest with you. If you look at many people among you, they tend to follow the same path over and over every day. Mm-hmm. And without some sense of a renewal, whether it's each morning and how you start your day, or sometimes renewal is driving to work a totally different way, taking a new path.
Exactly. And we have to take the example to a deeper level on from the nature. So just imagine the nature and the seasons that we go through every year, right? And in a renewal mode, as you can see, when winter is here, you see how the trees are, they don't have leaves, right? And they're dry and they're winter mode. And after winter, there will be the spring coming. and everything will regrow and reopen, and life will be back again. So renewal is in this time of the uh, time frame that we are in. We've been into COVID situation for last 2 years almost. It's time for us to rethink and renew, and we have learned a lot of things that we did not know last 2 years. Including we have evolved into something better than we were. As you can see, the economy is growing. As you can see, people are much more optimistic, including a stock market. You can see a much more optimism there. So there is a faith in the future that is growing, and our hope is supporting us to go that direction. And to go that direction, we have to renew and relook at what we are doing.
You say something interesting, and that was the word hope.
Yes.
So renewal is a hope. And these COVID times, I think we're at least more familiar with them, and realizing that if you maintain a somewhat healthy life, COVID, this new variant is really like a bad cold. It's just the flu. Mm-hmm. And I really believe, I have no proof of any of this, but this is just another version of the flu. Mm-hmm. And the flu changes, evolves every year. And this is exactly what these variants are. They're just repackaging them because suddenly, if you follow the money, people are making money off of this. So as people, we need to renew our sense of understanding of how do we move forward. Mm-hmm. I think a healthier lifestyle helps you get over this flu quicker. Being more aware of keeping your hands clean and maybe, we all had association this holiday season a little closer with people than we have in the past couple of years. And many of us were hugging, many of us were kissing, and guess what? We're still alive today. So we don't have to be afraid of love. And that is a sense of renewal in itself.
Of course, the essence of that is renewal in a sense of regrowth, right? Regrowth and doing things differently because you are now renewing to a different era. So as you see that there is a mindset that we developed over time, especially last 2 years, through our journey through this difficult time of COVID. We have many examples in the past. They were much more difficult than this. And as you can see, there was Depression era. There was World War I, there was World War II, the rebuild of Europe, right? Rebuild of our own economy. And there is a lot of different challenges we faced in the past, but we have changed over time and we have faced those challenges and evolved. And here we are, 2022, and I cannot believe that it felt to me that just yesterday it was Y2K, which is 2000. And 22 years have gone by. And we are here. And that's the key about renewal of our journey and having the faith. And you mentioned about the hope. Hope is the driver of all of this. If you don't have a hope, if you don't have that positive hope, you will always fade away, because without hope, there is nothing. Right?
Well, that's a very good point. And the other part of that is the word positive that you just spoke of.
Yes, positivity is important. And in our vision,
Positivity is how you must approach the future. Positivity in the present moment,
mhm,
and a positive outlook to take each step as you go. These resolutions or promises that you make to yourself, don't make too many. I think we list, many people list 10 things they're going to do this year, and it's like, really, just take the most important one and try to work on that, because change is an evolutionary process.
mhm.
And you might, they say 50, 60% of the people try to make a healthy change in their lifestyle. Just take a step each day to be healthier. Don't force yourself to go to the gym 3 to 5 days a week if you haven't been going to the gym. I mean, the reality is you don't do that on a regular basis. So take a step each day and make healthy decisions. And you can get to the gym, but you have to start out 1 day a week, not 3 days or 5 days a week, because you're not going to get there.
Well, that's the perspective we all have, right? So you can make as many resolutions as you want. You can stick to all of them. That's completely okay. It's how we approach things. You can make it a moderate approach. You can make it no, I'm going to focus on all. Some people are multitasker. Some people are focused on one specific thing. But it's what works for who and how they apply it. But as the key to that is applying it and not giving up. Not giving up, because if you can go to the gym 5 days a week, go for it. And that's a good way of building your health. And right now, I was just coaching one of my client who is a gym owner, and we are having a challenge for them to show up in the gym, do exercise, and gain better health and all the other goals that you want to do that. And some people have to do that, and it's sticking to your goals. No matter what goal you set for yourself, sticking to it. It can be one, it can be multiple, it can be 10, and there is nothing wrong with that, Tony. If you have 20 goals, let's hit them all. And if you can hit them all, and if you are successful in achieving those goals, you have done it. Question is also what level of engagement you do to get and achieve those goals, and how you hold yourself accountable to that. So the renewal that we are talking about is to set a new stage for us. And to do that, we have to change our mindset. Our mindset have to be, this is new. Even though it's not, many of these things are not new, we are renewing it. But this is new. We have to take it as it is new. Just like we don't say happy old year, we say happy new year, right? So it's a new year with a new beginning and the new way of looking at things, looking at the old things in a new way. And by doing that, we renew ourselves to a new journey.
I'm sorry, but I want to disagree with you a little bit.
Sure.
Because time is the currency that we have. All we have is the same amount of time every day.
Right.
And if you're going to try to make 10 to 20 goals and live up to them, you have a major change of how you use your time. And so there's an organizational thing right in itself. Well, so I think if you want to be successful, you need to take an evolutionary process to this change of your time, to say, okay, I'm going to take steps. You can't change everything at once unless you're discarding everything that fills your time on a daily basis.
Of course. So let me explain that to you a little bit deeper. So for example, if you create a goal of 20 And one of the goal is to visit Chicago and have dinner in a restaurant called whatever, right? So name a restaurant if you have.
Blackbird.
Yeah, and that's one of the goal out of 20 goals you have. And you achieve that in a very short time. So you just have to make sure you achieve that, right? So goals don't have to be all big goals, because success is not relevant to your goal. Success is driven by how you approach to the goal and how you achieve your goal. So you can have multiple small goals, and it can be waking up every morning, having a yoga session is a goal, right? So that can be multiple small goals can lead to a bigger goal, having a much better, healthier lifestyle. So creating goals is all dependent on individuals, and it is very customized. We normally think that what we think and we believe the whole world will be following that. It's not the way it works. It what works for that specific person. So, for example, my goal was to, in the morning, wake up and have a conversation with you today. And I have achieved that already. So that's out of 100 goals I have, this may be already marked off, right? So
True, but that's not a change. We've been doing this every other Tuesday. So that's a goal, but that's not a renewal. That's not a change in your lifestyle. That's been a part of your lifestyle. So what did you do new since the beginning of the new year?
Right. And that's what you will be hearing a lot about, those new things that we are doing in our Vino and Vision, including our personal life and creating multiple things that we are creating right now in our group. So you will be hearing all those new things that are coming. Every day is a new day, and every day you should have some specific goals to achieve, and you create that for yourself. So if you combine those specific goals, you will be figuring out how many goals you will achieve at the end of the year. That will be many, right?
So tell me, how can I set and achieve more goals on a daily basis? What would you recommend? Being a business coach, how can you achieve your goals on a daily basis?
Well, the first thing you have to understand a goal versus your vision and your mission and your aspiration, the difference between those, right? A goal can be a big one, can be a small one, and you achieve them as you move forward. Vision, mission, where you are setting a 10-year objective, 20 years goal, which is much bigger than a little goal that we have. So there's difference between all those. As you see in Vino and Vision, strategic mindset is a module, is a dimension that we talk about. We have 3 modules there: vision, we have aspiration, vision, and dream. And as you can see, dream is a much deeper level of the of all of them. So you work through all of them, and you have a lot of different methods to apply. It's not as simple as I will wake up and these are the goals I will write down and I will apply. That never worked. You have to hold yourself accountable. And that's why the coaching coming into play on a regular basis. Coaching is not a one-day thing. So you have to go, just like you are mentioning about gymnasium, you can go to the gymnasium and say, I want to be a member of a gym for 3 months, and after that I drop off. That's not how your health will maintain. Maintaining of your health is a continual effort. You have to go to the gym every time you are setting a goal. So you are saying, I'm going to go to the gym on a regular basis, and I will continue to go. But you do not set a deadline that after a year I'll drop off, and after that I'll gain back another 20 pounds and I'll be back to my old habits, right? So you have to renew yourself to the new habit, which is the habit of continual with the new mindset. Means, yeah, I've been going to the gym for a year, but now I'm going to go to the gym with a new mindset of maintaining my objectives, achieving my new goals.
So
So,
what I'm hearing you say
Mhm.
is to be more accountable to yourself,
Mhm.
to set your goals and achieve them requires a new mindset.
Mhm.
So the renewal, for the renewal to work, you must change your current mindset. And how do we do that?
Okay. Change your current mindset in a mode of renewal. So remember, renewal is something from the existing to renew to the new. So it have to be, and I gave the example of the nature. You plant a seed and the seed grow. That's a goal. That seed to become a huge tree. But at the same time, look at the seasonality of that. Each of the season, it changes. Each of the season impact the tree differently, right? In winter, you see all the leaves go away, and in springs, you see all the leaves come back, and you see the color changes. So each of these steps shows you that what you experienced yesterday is not what you're going to experience today. There was no COVID when you and I first met, and then COVID happened. Nobody ever thought about that, right? Nobody ever thought the biggest economy in the world will shut down totally. There will be no cars on the street. That was a good time for movie makers to go and take some shots because they can show those scary movies that, oh, roads are empty and zombies are walking around. But just imagine that nobody ever thought about that. It's almost like a meteor hit us and everything wiped out. The total, not only the biggest economy in the world, the entire world shut down. And we mentioned about Andrea Bocelli singing alone. Whoever thought that to the entire world? And they were showing all the streets of Italy and all kind of places empty.
So what I'm hearing you say as well is that as you set your goals, you will have small goals, you will have large goals, you will have goals that you will have dreams. And so you should look at your goals as what are the small steps to get me to my dream, which is the end result.
Yes.
Um, and and you also need to look at seasonality in your goal setting, because as you move forward through the seasons, if you want to look at it as seasons, your goals will evolve a little differently. You may not be that sprouting seed. You may be in the season of dormancy. And even though your goal is still there, it just changes in the way you approach it. Is that a good way to say that?
Yes, of course, the way you approach it. For example, and I'm going to give you a very interesting example. As you know, we do some restoration of furnitures, right? Myself and my wife together, we do restoration of old
There's
furniture.
some renewal right there.
Renewal, bring them to the new life and new color, new look. And to do that, based on our availability, and she's very busy, I'm very busy with both of us have multiple organizations to manage. But at the same time, think about this. So we are restoring a beautiful piece of furniture that will go to our living room. And it's a grand furniture, it's a big furniture. And the way we are doing it, we set us a goal that we're going to restore this furniture and make it fabulous. But how do you do that with the time we have available, right? So we manage time when we both have some availability to spend little at a time. And we know that we're going to focus on this side of the furniture, that side of the furniture, inside of the furniture, a wallpaper that we'll put in the background, So slowly we do things. We keep on adding
Step by step.
step by step, means progress. Every time we go back to it, we are making progress and it's coming alive. And eventually, for us, it's going to take a little bit longer, but eventually it's going to be done. And when it is done, it's a complete item that we've been, or complete of goal that we've been working on. And we will enjoy that because that's going to be fabulous. And by focusing on those little steps at a time, and including, I coach a lot of business owners that they have yearly goal, they have 3-year, 5-year goal, and they have all those other things, metrics and all that. But it's a daily effort of keeping and meeting and exceeding that. So if we set aside half an hour to work on that furniture, we say, well, maybe we can spend 45 minutes. We spend a little bit more time and maybe we can do that. And if by exceeding that, we are achieving it, we are making progress, and progress is the driver of everything. The more progress you make, the more.
And that's a little change in your mindset and a change in your habits. So if you're going to make a commitment to work together to restore that furniture, you're going to make a commitment as well to not sit and watch TV.
Exactly. And the other thing is that continual evaluation of the progress. Are you making progress? Are you adding to it? Are you creating something that is beneficial? If you evaluate that on an ongoing basis, you will find that things that you need to do, things you don't need to do, and things you continue to need to do. So it's called start, stop, and continue. The 3 model we always follow: what you need to stop doing, what you need to start doing. So those are, one is stopping, means something in past you stop doing. One is start doing something new that you never done before that you're going to be doing. And then the other one is something you continue to do. So there's a continual effort. So stop, start, continue. These 3 items, I always focus on our improvement for the business owners specifically. Even my leadership coaching, that's what I follow. Executive coaching is, what do you do? What do you stop right now? What is not producing result for you? Right?
I think that's very, very wise. I've not heard that before. But what do you need to stop doing to hit your goal? What do you need to start doing? And what do you need to continue to do?
Yes.
And I think that is a good place to end this conversation because we're a little over on time. And that is a good starting point for our next conversation regarding renewal.
Yes.
Which will be on the third Tuesday of the month. So I will look forward to seeing you again on January 18th to continue this conversation.
We'll be renewed by then. We'll see you in 2
So
weeks.
what do we need to stop doing?
Yes. Let's start planning
before
for that.
January 18th.
Yes.
To achieve your goal.
Exactly. Remember, not only stop, also start. And
we need to start. And then we'll talk about what we continue to do.
All right.
Very good. Well, this has been Coffee with the Coach for the renewal of 2022. And I wish you a very happy new year.
And I wish you a happy new year. See you in 2 weeks.
Very good. Good day.
You too.